Okay, so I figured I could just go through my example and show you guys how to complete this chart. So the first thing that you want to do is write all of your ratios of um, each activity. So I first just wrote the title of the activity. Now, let me go back a second. This was the sample that I gave you guys, right? One thing that is important is that all of these daily totals should add to 24, which most of yours did. Some of you, I wrote you a message on the assignment to let you know that you needed to fix it. Also, some of you forgot to do the totals for each activity. This is actually the most important column. That's what we're going to use to fill out the next chart. That should all add to 120. If it doesn't, just adjust it so it does. Okay, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to take these totals and you're going to write a ratio for each one of like how much time you spent doing each one out of the total 120 hours for the week. So for example, my first one, shower and getting ready, I spent a total of about 2.5 hours. So I'm going to put 2.5 over 120. And then you do that for all of them. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you have all of your ratios written. If you add all of your numerators, it should add to 120 over 120. So from here, how you get your ratio into a percent is you just want to divide them. So 2.5 divided by 120. Which is 0.0208. And then you're going to take that and multiply by 100, or you can just like move the decimal over. So this is about 2.08%. So I spent about 2.08% of my time showering and getting ready. Now to get the degree representation, you actually want to take the decimal form of that percent. So you know what? You want to keep that in your, I forgot about this. So when you do 2.5 divided by 120, keep that decimal in your calculator. And to write the percent, just like in your head, move the decimal over twice to get 2.08. The reason why I say that is to get the degree representation, you take the decimal form of the percent and multiply by 360. So it's easier if you just have that decimal in your calculator, and then you just have to do times 360. And so this is 7.5 degrees. And so basically what that means is it's taking 2% of 360. And so actually, you know what? I didn't even explain what we're doing with this. We're making a pie chart of this information. I probably should have explained that from the beginning. As you can see in this, this is attached to the assignment. I guess I'll just explain it in the assignment. But yeah, you're making a pie chart of your week, basically. So the section for showering and getting ready for me is going to be 7.5 degrees. This one was also 2.5. So it'll be 2.08 again, and then 7.5 degrees again. 22.5, and then you just keep going. Okay, so once you do all of them, it looks like this. Your total, all of your percents should add to 100%. Now, I didn't actually go through and add those together because I knew that I had rounded some of these. Like this one was 4.16 repeating, so I rounded it to 7. So when you add together your percents, it might not be exactly 100, but it should be very, very, very close. It is important that your degrees add to 360. So I did go through and I added those together to double check that they add to 360, and they did. So once you get that, if you remember arc length is the arc measure over 360 and then times the circumference. Now, if you're printing out the circle that I posted on on this assignment, that radius is 8.8 centimeters. If you don't have a printer and you're going to make your own circle, just hopefully you have a ruler and you can measure. Worst case scenario, I think you could probably get like a ruler online or something and measure it to the best that you can. So the radius is 8.8 centimeters and the diameter is 17.6 centimeters. Okay, so then for your arc length, you're taking the arc measure over 360 times diameter times pi. So you're taking my arc measure here is the degree. So that's going to be 7.5 degrees out of 360 times 17.6 pi. So remember 7.5 divided by 360 and then times 17.6 pi. So this one is about 1.15 centimeters. And then so you would do that for all of them as well. Now, when you do all of your arc lengths, that should total to about the same as your circumference. So if you do diameter times pi, just 17.6 times pi, all your arc lengths should add together to give you the full circle. Okay, so that's what you do with the chart. Now, I'm going to show you how you would do the actual circle graph. Now, if you have a protractor, that's ideal. If you don't have a protractor, that's okay. You can still do it by just estimating. Now, what I would suggest to do if you don't have a protractor is pull up a picture of a protractor on like Google Images or something, and then that way you can like look at what it's about supposed to be and just estimate the best that you can. I mean, we'll do our best here. So what I would suggest to do, and what I like to do with my circle graph, is I like to do the highest degree to lowest degree. So your sections are kind of like, that's how most circle graphs are. All the bigger sections are clumped together and all the smaller ones are clumped together. So I'm going to do my biggest one, which was sleep. I'm going to do that one first, then school, then TV and phone, unfortunately, was my third biggest. So you'll see how I build it. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to draw in a radius. So I'm going to grab my ruler. So just draw in a radius. Okay, so I'm going to do, like I said, my biggest section first, which was sleep. So that's 138 degrees, remember. So I'm going to take my protractor, set it up. Since I'm set up on the right-hand side of my protractor, I'm going to follow the 0 on the right-hand side, which is the inside numbers. 138 is at around here. Once you get that, let's see, does this reach? Yep, you're going to just connect it. And then in that section, I'll just label it with sleep. And then that was 38.33% of my week, and that was 138 degrees. You don't have to measure the arc length on there. Okay, then to do the next one, my next biggest one was school, distance learning, prepping, and grading, which was 67.5 degrees. So I'm going to turn it so it's kind of like how I started with the radius, just like across like this, and then I'm going to set it up again. So 67.5 is like here. Now when I label it, I'm going to turn it back over and label distance learning. Prep and grading. So that one, I'm going to look back at my chart, was 18.75%, and it was 67.5 degrees. Okay, then my next one was TV and my phone. So I'm going to just keep building. That was 52.5 degrees. Okay, so when your circle chart is done, it should look something like this. Now I used pen because I wanted it to show up when making this video, but towards the end I kind of ran out of room. Like these two were supposed to be 4.5 and this one was supposed to be 3, but I didn't really have room, so I squished it in. You should be doing it with pencil, so you could like change it if you needed to, but it's fine if you kind of just like do that, as long as you have room for each one and it's like somewhat accurate. It's fine. I get that we're doing the best that we can with or without a protractor. So that's pretty much it. If you want to color it, you can color each section a different color. But that's it. So this is going to be due on Friday. And so you have to do that part of it and then the chart. And so that's it. Let me know if you have questions, and I'm happy to meet with you on Zoom, or just I can answer your questions via email. All right, guys, have a great day.